Doing? Let me make sure my volume is up. Okay, volume's up. How's everybody doing? I am Love Marlene 411, your channel for all of the love things. We talk about the relationship that we have with ourselves, your spouse, significant other, your children. And we also do a lot of subjects talking about trauma healing and all of those things because it's so important for us to respect ourselves and love ourselves and do all of the things that we need to do so that we can be our best self. So, with all of that being said, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. I love to have you over here. We talk about all of the love things, topics. So, loved ones, are you ready to get into this topic? Let's talk about 50-50. I'm waiting for my co-host, Miss Nexie, and we're going to get into talking about all of the important topics and all of the important things. But first of all, I have to say, in talking about 50-50, it's a very controversial topic. And it can be controversial, and I do understand why some people get so upset and irate. But I do have to put out this stipulation and say this. Um, Everybody does the best that works for them in their relationship. I'm not giving any advice. I'm not telling anybody what to do. Just myself and my co-host, Miss Nexty, we talk about these topics because we feel like it's important to talk about it. And yeah, everybody's always free to have their own personal opinion. Hi, Miss Betty. How are you doing? Welcome in. Everybody's always free to have their own opinion, and I welcome other opinions. It's just you know what you like, and you know what you are interested in, all of those things. So y'all don't get upset with me when I share my thoughts and my opinions, because there's a lot of people that will be very upset with me coming on here and saying this, but I'm just going to say what I have to say when my co-host Miss Nexie gets here. Welcome to the Sip and Chat, where we sip and we chat about very important topics. While I wait for my co host, Miss Nexie, I want to know your opinion in the comment section. Do you believe in 50-50? I'm going to read something while I'm waiting for my co host. Oh, here she is. So I don't even get a chance to read it. Let's welcome Miss Nexie to the Sip and Chat. Hello. Uh-oh. She'll be back. So while we're waiting for Miss Nexie to pop back in, let me know, what is your opinion? Do you believe in 50-50 in a romantic relationship? When I was doing some research for this topic, and I felt like it was important to have this conversation because when I was thinking about what I thought about 50-50 when I was in my teen years, even in my 20s, what I thought. But things shift as you get older, as you mature. I will say when I was younger, I was all for, saying that, everybody, I should be taken care of 100%, 100%. They got to cover me 100%. But as I'm getting older, as I'm getting wiser, as based on my experiences and things, like, I have a different opinion. And like I said, to each his or her own. Everybody is different, and I get it. I understand. But I did want to say that um, don't be upset and angry with somebody, because you never know what another person is going through and dealing with, and what one person chooses to do in their relationship is what works for them. I'm not telling anybody what to do. Here we go. Let's add Miss Nexie. Hi, Sirius. How are you? Welcome.
Hey, Miss Marlene.
Hi, Miss Nexie.
How are you?
I'm doing great.
That is wonderful. It's so hot over here today. So hot.
Oh, really?
Yes, it's so weird because at night, like around 6 o'clock or 7, it's gonna be a little cold. So I
Mm,
don't know what's going on. How are
mm.
you today?
I'm doing great. Great, great, great. Same thing over here in Florida. Hot, hot, hot. Well, I can't say hot, hot, hot. This morning it started off a little muggy and cool, and you know that burned off by by noon. By noon, I was sweltering. I was like, I showed up. I was like, okay, I got a sweater on. I was like, I got on my cozy socks. I was like, I got to come out of these socks and this sweater. No, no, no.
That's exactly how it is. It's been doing here. Like it's in the morning, like mid. I would probably say like we were okay up until probably like an hour ago, which is right now it's 4 o'clock my time.
Mhm.
So like around 2:30, 3:30 is when it started getting a little bit hot, a little bit too uncomfortable for sweaters and sweats and socks and anything else that you have on. Yes.
Yes, yes, I understand. Miss Nexty, Miss
Yes,
Next.
ma'am.
Okay, what are you sipping on?
Well, to top it off, I am having a very nice hot coffee.
Miss
I
Nexty.
know, I know, I know. I'm having coffee because again, it was nice and cool, so it felt good at the time that I make the coffee. But I switched it, and now I'm having just regular water, just plain water, no ice, no nothing, just plain delicious, healthy water.
Yes, Miss Nexty. Me and you, we were right here because yeah, I had came from work, did my workout, went for a long, long walk. I came home and I took an ice cold shower and I was like, I need water.
Wow.
A lot of it. A lot of it.
Hey, serious.
Yeah, hey Sirius. Sirius says she's fantastic. How are we doing? Doing great over here.
We're doing wonderful over here. Thank you for asking. I'm glad that you're doing good, that you're doing great too. And blessed, yes.
Yes, very blessed. So, Miss Nexty, you saw the title, right?
Yeah, I thought you were discussing my eyesight 50-50. Oh, it's a 2020.
So I thought this would be a really good topic to do, Miss Nexie, and talking about I should have put 50-50 in a romantic relationship, but you know, if they
I
come
said what
here,
I said, and
they'll
I'm gonna
understand.
I said what I said. I said to split or not to split. That's what I said. So I said what I said,
Yeah,
and I'm taking it
you
down
did
with
say
me.
to split or to not to split, but I was like, I know what you're doing, Miss Nexie. Miss Nexie is the one that usually comes up with the titles, and that's what she put in here. She was like, say to split or to not to split. But I was like, no.
Remember the title of that book, to be or not to be? So I said to split or not to split. No, but are we talking relationship? Are we talking,
Well, you know how.
that touchy subject? You know, a touchy subject that we don't want to touch, but we have to touch.
Yeah. Um. Hey, Lisa, how are you? Welcome.
Hi, Lisa.
You know, Miss Nexie, how we do it. We start on one, and then we go around. What they say, go around the
Round.
yeah, the merry-go-round, and then come back to our original space. So, we'll start off by being, talking about romantic, and then we can go venture, and then we'll end up back.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
So, Miss Nexie, first of all, 50-50. I think I think sometimes people have different interpretations of 50-50 in a romantic relationship. So since you're being my guest, co-host, and everything, I'm gonna let you give your interpretation. What do you think it means to do 50-50 in a romantic relationship?
For I take it as for me, it's
Mhm,
50-50 on the shores,
mhm.
50-50 on everything that pertains to the relationship as far as grocery shopping and vacations and everything, and 50-50 on the bills.
Okay.
That's what I interpret. And 50-50 on, to the entire relationship. That's how I interpret that exact phrase, the way
Okay.
I take it. Yeah.
Okay. Because when I was looking up online talking about 50-50, I saw that different genders think different things. Mainly when we talk when how it was said online that when they talk about 50-50, men are specifically talking about money. And the line is drawn like that's it. They want 50-50 when it comes to the money, but when it comes to other things, no, that's women stuff.
Oh, send them here. I'll teach them.
Yeah, I
I
was like,
learned them.
wait a minute. I was like, wait. How you get to choose 50 on this, but then the rest, you giving me all of it.
And you know what? That is nothing new. I think that, our um my daughters, my nieces, and hopefully going forward grandchildren as well, they're more 50-50 throughout the entire relationship, which it should be, right?
Mhm.
Bills and time and savings and chores and everything else is divided equally among the two. I have a niece that she is the worst cook in the world. And she comes from the best cook in the world, which is my sister. But
Uh-huh.
my niece is the worst cook in the world. And her husband is the cook. He loves
Okay.
cooking and he's really, really good. So when they're cooking together, she is, helping him clean the vegetables, cut him up,
Right.
and whatever else he needs on the side. And then, he's preparing the food and she sets up the table. So it's divided on that amount to the point where, they're done eating. She is doing the dishes, right? But
Okay.
because he did the entire dinner or lunch or whatever. And
Okay.
so they are more open to or more understanding that when it comes to 50-50 in a relationship is we both going to put the same amount to make this a 100% relationship, to make it work as best as we can, kind of, right?
Yeah. And Miss Nexie, in thinking about this subject, I think that most people, like I was saying, the what I saw on the internet, talking about that, men more geared towards they want you to assist them with the bills, but then leave everything else. Like, yeah, you got to do the housework, you got to be taking care of the kids, you got to do this, you got to do that. But when it comes to the money, that we need to split that, right? and i
Mm.
and I personally am this way, Miss Nexie, and don't be upset with me. But I come from the opinion that that's just the way I was raised, is that when you're both working, if both work in the household, that you have your money, I have my money, and then we come together when it comes to bills. Like, talk about things like, okay, I can pay, I can pay the water, you pay
Hmm.
the telephones. Like, it's like almost like you come together just to see, okay, what can you afford, Now, I know everybody
Hmm.
be different because in some relationships, some people make more, but I don't think that it's only about how much you make because just because a person may make more, but the person who either works less or doesn't work at all could be doing way more than the person that is working outside of the home.
I come from a place because again we were both raised pretty much by the same kind of, even though I'm not Jamaican, but we are Caribbean
Hmm.
raised, right? With that mentality of what's mine is mine, and what yours is mine. No, what's mine is mine and what's yours is yours, right? You have your money, I have my money, and then like you just explained, you do that. My ex-husband came from the man controls the purse string, and the wife, yeah, in his culture, which is not, it's nothing to be, I'm not criticizing anyone. That
Right.
is exactly how they've been doing it for hundreds and hundreds of years, and it's something that works for them. They have this setting that is called the daily, and what it is because a lot of men back home in where my husband is from, they work and they get paid daily, right? The majority of men that don't have degrees, or which is the majority of us, right? So
Yeah.
in his place, the husband is the one that controls everything because he's the breadwinner, and then he gives the wife daily expense. Let's say $20 a day for the food and whatever else, right?
Hmm.
And then when kids need shoes or whatever, he goes and buys them. They go buy them with his money, whatever, but it's always the daily. So coming from two different ideologies, my ex-husband and I did something in the middle, and what we did is we added up the exact amount of our bills, and kind of like what you're saying, 50-50. But we did it this way because we wanted to feel as we're married. So we had our own personal savings accounts, and then when our paychecks came in, we put a certain amount in the joint house account.
Yes.
And that is the one that, if he, let's say he makes 1,000, and I make 1,000, or I make 1,200 and he makes 1,000, we both agree to put 400 from each paycheck into that account. And that's how the house bills were paid. That's how the groceries were paid. That's how the kids' shoes and dentists and this and that. So and I'm saying 400, it was more, but I'm just saying kind of an amount, right? We both
Right.
agreed to do. So that account was the family account. That's where everything came from. Now, if there was a vacation or whatever, of course, we both will take from our savings and put it together for the trip, right? But
Right.
we did have a family account because it made us feel married. Our account, the family account. And that avoided a lot of headaches and a lot of, you didn't pay the light? What? You forgot to pay the water? Oh my God, you forgot to do this, you forgot to do that. So once automatic payments came, all we did was set it up, and then the account took care of everything.
Right. And I think what you're saying is kind of what how Sirius feels. She put a post in here a little bit ago. I don't believe in 50-50 or 100 100. Sometimes women put in more percentage than men. He may do 20%, I may do 80%. It depends.
Mhm.
Whatever works in your
Yes,
household.
yes.
And I, and also it can go the opposite way too, Serious and Nexi and anybody who's listening. Sometimes it's that the opposite. It's that the the man is doing 80% and the woman is doing 20% because she may be the breadwinner, you know. So it really depends on the dynamic and what works for your family. Me
Hmm.
and Nexi are not saying that it's a cookie cutter set, like has to be the mold and everybody has
Yeah,
to
no,
follow.
it's not set in stone. For whatever works for for the couple, right? Whatever works for you guys, that's exactly what you do. because again, for me, I always uh, it was always kind of weird to be Miss Marlene, because like and I saw this with my mom and her husband, and my in-laws, and my brother-in-laws and their wives. I saw that my mom and my dad too, when rent came, it was okay, the rent is $800. Okay, let me get it out of my bank. Here's your 400 for the rent, and this is my 400 for the rent. And then how much was for the light bill? 20, 40. Okay, here's my 20. Here's your. So I saw them doing that all the time. Let me bring you cash. Let me, you know what I mean? Like I get it. It's nice, but I always wanted to have a family account. I wanted us to be a family in that respect. That what comes out of our family. Let's say our bills are 800. If we agree to put 500 each, that's an extra 200 in that account for a rainy day. You know what I mean? So
Exactly.
I like that because it made us feel like, okay, we're married, right? We still have our individualities because, we're individuals. We're married, but we still are us, right? We still have our
Yeah.
beliefs and our customs or whatever, but we wanted to do a joint account that said Mr. and Mrs. So and so, and this is their family account.
Right.
Because it was kind of weird for me to see that, or to see my brother-in-law say, oh, here's your daily, like 50 bucks or whatever, and it's like what? That is so weird. Like that is so weird. Like I don't think I'll be able to survive having someone just give me a daily every day. Like I don't know, it was weird. So I wanted to break that mold, and even though we were adopting from both sides, right, from both families,
Yeah.
we wanted to do it this way because it worked for us. It
Right.
worked that way for us.
And how I always saw things, my parents' upbringing was just like that. I think maybe it's an old school way of, that's the way what is it called, baby boomers did things. But that's my parents
Mm-hmm.
did the same thing, and I was like, oh no.
Mm-hmm.
My mom would
So,
make her money, my dad made his money, and then they would get together and discuss, and then they'd be like, "Oh, here's for this and here's for that." And I was like, "Why don't you just
too
have
much
an
work.
account
That's
that
too
you
much
just?"
work for me.
I was like, "Why don't you just have an account where you just put the money in and it's there, and then you come
Yeah.
together and say, I'm going to pay this, and it's done, instead of always like every pay period having to withdraw money and then give it to the other person in hand." But
That was so weird. Oh no,
I
no.
was
How
like,
about the
this is strange.
we're gonna go to the mall and pay all of our credit cards, like from JC Penney, from Macy's. We go every month to do a monthly pay. Wait in line for a cashier. And then were you there on those days too?
Yes, and what you oh, hey Nate just came in.
Oh,
Hey
hi
Nate.
Nate.
Yeah. Well, you know what's but remember, Nexi, that things are different than it was now, because it's not like how it used to be back then. Back then there weren't electronic payments. They
You
didn't
know, Miss
they had
Marlene.
paper checks, and you had to do check, with a checkbook, and
Yes, yes,
yeah,
yes.
things
Okay,
were
Miss
different.
Marlene, let me tell you. So I tell my mother, right? You have checkbooks, right? You have the bank gave you your checkbooks and everything. Yeah. Why don't you mail it? Just, once you get the bill, cut it off, make the check out to whatever. I can do it for you. You mail it. I don't trust the mail. I don't trust the US.
Yes.
I don't, what if it gets lost? What if this $20
Oh
doesn't go into,
Oh, Miss Nexie,
so
stop mimicking my whole childhood.
no, 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 no. You just want to be part of my family. That's not gonna work with money. So I'm over there. Daughter, what are you doing this weekend? And I was like, oh no, I'm gonna be the one stuck this week.
Yep, you're stuck.
I've
Hmm.
been trying to call your brothers, but nobody's answering me. And I was like, damn it, when did I pick up the phone? I'm
Yeah.
like, nothing. Do you need anything? Oh yeah, I wanted you to take me here and take me there and take me there because I have to go make my payments, and I will go back to the same thing. Eventually, I gave up because I'm like, how is it that you don't trust the U.S. Post?
Yeah, they didn't.
Office.
No, and this was my mom's thing is when she paid a bill, she wanted a paper receipt.
Yes. Oh, I have boxes and boxes from my mother's house. Boxes and
I want a paper
boxes.
receipt. She's like, oh, that internet transaction numbers. No, no, no. She says
No.
anybody could have made up a transaction number and still
Yes.
kept your money.
Yes. Okay. Uh, so yeah, my mom was that type, and my dad too was that type. They had, oh, and another thing. So the paycheck gets divided into three, right? The one that the yeah. Okay, so this is how they did it. Okay, this is the 300 for the rent. This is my 300. That's the 600, and this is the 40 for all the bills, and this is my 40. And then I'm gonna leave 200 in the bank, and I'm gonna take the other 400, and I'm gonna keep it in my safe deposit. I mean, at home in some little box where they had it hidden because they didn't trust the banks.
Miss Nexie, guess what? Guess
Is
what?
that your household too?
Guess what? But ours was under the mattress.
Yes, yeah, that's anyway. That's not exactly where they kept it, but yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but
There's a
like either it was in a box or it was under a mattress or it was
mhm,
in a specific area. But it was all this money, and I used to tell my parents, I am so concerned. Okay, if somebody
yes.
comes in and something happens,
They will
that's
never look under the
trash.
mattress. They will never look under the mattress. They will never look in those shoe boxes. And I'm like, Mom, that is the first place they will look because they know. Why does she have this 20-year-old shoebox in this closet and all of the other shoes are there? Come on, they gotta know.
And that's why
So,
and that's why as my parents got older, Miss Nexley, we did not ask them. We insisted. It's
mhm.
like, okay. Like, if it's, even a few $100, you're like, you don't like it, but you'll let them have it. But when it starts getting into thousands in the house, Miss Nexie,
Yeah, that's dangerous. Listen to what
yeah.
Sirius said. Sirius says
Okay, go ahead, Miss Nexie.
sometimes one person is directing the household expenses. They have a joint account, and that designated person is making sure that the expenses are paid and the miscellaneous costs. They have a ledger, and that's exactly what we did when my husband and I were when our children were smaller, and we were working and everything. Again, we will do the split for the house and everything, and he was the one taking care of all, the house payment, the light, the water, and everything else, and
Mhm.
the taxes for the house, everything, and
Right.
medical expenses. And then I was the one that, let's say I'm gonna go to the supermarket, and remember how you had to pay with the check back then.
Oh
Either I
my
will
God.
take cash, or I will say, you know what, I think I'm gonna have to buy extra, so I'm just gonna write a check. And he will say, don't forget to tell me exactly how much it is so that I can deduct it from the account. And he's an engineer, so he kept the book so pristine that I
Right.
think that if I would have done it, we would have probably be arguing every day because we would have been like, what is this, woman? Why is there a little dot on top of the six?
Well,
What are
well,
these flowers?
well, guess what, Miss Nexie? My parents, and they were married for 52 years, almost 53 years. And my parents said they tried that when they first got married. They did a joint account, and she said it was nothing but mm-mm.
Headaches.
She said it was
Yeah,
headaches and drama. So she said it's just better because you know how it went. I already know what happened because I know my parents. What somebody uh you know didn't tell the other person and the account bounced.
yeah, no, not us. I was
And
always very good at that.
yeah, but that's what I'm trying to say. But not everybody is good at
Yeah,
keeping a
exactly.
good yeah,
Yeah,
and communicating. So, that worked for them, but I'm just saying I think I just don't think it's safe to be going to the ATM all the time and withdrawing money and then bringing it to
Yes.
a person. I don't know. I just feel like no. I'm
Miss
like no.
Marlene,
I'm
when
just
the
like no.
internet
Mm-mm.
when the internet came out, and then I did a I will check my parents' balance, right, to make sure everything was there, the checks is cleared and everything. And
Mhm.
so my mom will of course get out of work, my dad would get out of work, and they will both go deposit the checks. And then I said,
Mhm.
Mom, you don't have to withdraw. I can transfer from your account to dad two's account, or from his account to yours, and the
Right.
same amount that he gives you. No, 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 no. I have to have it so I can go deposit it, because what if when you transfer it, something happens to that apparatus that you're doing it on, and then the communication or whatever is like the US, like it's the Pony Express that is taking the message, and it doesn't get to the account, and then I write the checks, and then everything is gonna bounce, and then I'm gonna get all the, I said, Mom, okay, you know what, never mind what I just said. Let
Yep.
dad go get his money, let him bring you, and then you go back to the same bank and deposit it. Why not go together? And say, let's go once a month and split the account. Like, so I, no, no, you don't do it like that. Don't. You shouldn't be sending payments, because they steal things when you do it on that computer thing. They steal money. They steal money. I heard a case, she will tell me, about this lady who was one penny out of the accounts, and she became a millionaire from stealing pennies from a bank. I said, Mom, okay, okay, you know what? I'm sorry that that lady became a millionaire from stealing pennies. I said that is not going to be the case, because you don't have pennies for them to steal. So I gave it up, and I said, okay. And my
Whew.
dad too said, honey, let it go. You're not going to convince her.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able
Yeah.
to get anywhere.
Listen, Nexie, I'm telling you, when people who are the baby boomers, like anything that involved technology, like having an on. Oh, I remember when online banking came out.
Hmm.
My mom was like, "Well, if they put my account on online banking, I'm withdrawing all my money."
Miss Marlene, my mom stayed with me for 2 weeks one time, because she had to have surgery, right? And
Uh-huh.
she's here in my house. You know, it was a minor thing, but I wanted her to stick around for 2 weeks just to make sure everything went well. And
Right.
you know, I had to, oh my god, the longest 2 weeks of my life. But anyway, so she's here with me, and then you know, I have a mail, a box, a little box where we everybody, like, if you come in and you get the mail, you put it there. We go through it, you know, every day or every other day, just to make sure that there's nothing important, and then we toss everything out.
Right.
So I I go through the thing, and I see that all of my bills, like you know, the light bill, the water bill, the what else was there? I don't remember if it was a credit card. I think it was an offer for a credit card or something like that. So all of those things were on the side, and she had
Okay.
put dates. Let's say it came yesterday, so she would put 2/24, and then the next day I see on top of the other envelope 2/25, and the next day, and I'm like, oh yeah, I haven't gone through the mail. And I'm like, why are they numbered? I said, I didn't know the post office was doing that. She goes, oh, no, no, no. I numbered them because I wanted you to know that your electricity and your water bill came. And so that you can pay them now, we can go pay them. That way you don't have to worry about it, and you're not going to be late. Then I'm going to charge you extra. And I said, no, Mom, my bills get deducted from my bank account. Why would you authorize something like that? You don't even know if these people are putting the right amount. What if they're putting $5 more? And they steal it from your bank account? And I said, Mother, it's not a lady deducting it, it's a computer. It's precise. Oh no,
No,
I couldn't
no,
do that.
and
I couldn't
I,
do that.
Miss Nexie, I hate to interrupt you, but I have to tell you this. When my mom finally found out, like she finally got it, like you're the one that has to authorize it.
Yes.
And she's like, "Oh, so they can't." She thought they could just like make up a number.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
the
What if
light
they're
bill
adding like
is
$5?
yeah, the light bill is $785. I said,
Yeah.
"Mom, no, that is not how it goes. You get a paper bill and you know how much the bill is, but it's just you choose a date of the month that you're going to get it deducted. And she goes, oh, she said, that's why I've never done it because I thought they were going to be like, make up a number and then say, you pay it.
But when I said I said, Mom, it's not a person going into my account, and she thought that somebody else grabbed my bill, like, and then say, oh, okay, it says 96, but I'm gonna put 100. I'm gonna make a check and I'm gonna mail it. So she thought that the bank lady was mailing my payments, and I said, no, Mom, it gets out of my account and it goes straight into, Edison, and then it gets out of my account and it goes straight into the water department. And I
Right.
said, nobody touches it. Oh, they don't go into your account? And I said, no, Mother. A computer grabs it,
I
I
can't.
authorize. I said, I called the company when back then that you had to call them. I said, or they send you an envelope, you authorize, get it from this account. And every month, if your bill is $90.25, that is exactly what the computer takes out of you. And you trust computers? I said, more than people, Mom, more than people.
Yes.
And she's like, oh, I was like, she goes, so the bank lady doesn't pick up that account and then sends a check? I said, no, Mom. Like, and
That,
I explained to her again.
isn't it crazy how, the older people, but, if you think about it, Miss Nexie, they're
They didn't.
older.
Yes.
Things were different back then. They don't know anything about the computer. And like my mom thought when you had an online banking account, you were putting all of your information and anybody can see it.
No, Miss Marlene, how do you
Oh,
know?
when I heard that, Miss Nexie, I was like, I gotta go. I just picked up my keys. I was like, bye, mom. See you
No,
later.
okay.
This is
How
too
do
much
you
for me.
know that when you have an online account, what if somebody puts the name of that bank, and you're actually putting the money in that person's account? And I said, Mom, no, 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 it's not that simple. An online account is the same thing as when you go inside the bank and you open your account. You go
Yeah.
through all the information. They have to verify it. It's encrypted. They cannot really, um, there's a routing number, there's this, there's that. And she's like, oh, okay. Because I was worried that you were going to think you're putting it in a bank and it's somebody else's account and they were going to get your money. I said, oh, Mom.
Oh, oh, that's too much. That's
Oh,
too.
wait. Another thing, Miss Marlene. She was born in the 30s, right? Same as your mom.
Same
So
as my
they've
parents.
been
Yeah.
doing this paying in person and doing all this for 40 years, right? 40,
Yeah.
50 years. So it's hard for them to understand the way this new technology and this new computer thing works. But so she tells me, I said, Mom, they can give you an ATM and you can withdraw that money from the ATM outside of your bank. You don't have to go inside. No, no, no. I have to go inside because the lady that I have to fill in that little form, and then I have to initial it, and then I have to sign it. And if I don't do that, I don't know how to do that in that machine. And I said, Mom, no, your card, they give you a little card, a plastic card, and you put it
Whew.
in there, and you have this PIN number. Oh, that's too complicated. No, I just go inside, I just make line, and the girls already know me. They already know, and I just get the withdrawal slip, and the girl fills it out, and I just initial it and sign it, and then they give me the receipt and my money. I said, yeah, Mom, but you're doing all these things. Sometimes you're busy in the middle of the day or middle of cooking. You have to go and get this before the bank closes. That way, you don't have to wait for it. You can pick it up on Sunday. Just put in your card. No, no, that's too much. That's too much. What if I don't take the car out on time? What if the thing swallows it? What if, I cannot take it out and then somebody else gets it? I'm like, oh my God. I said, okay, Mom. You're ready to go to the bank? I'll pick you up every Saturday. I'll teach
Yeah, it's just better to not try to. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, and this is
Hi,
a this.
Miss.
Hey, Realist, how are
Sorry,
you?
Miss Marlene.
Oh, that's okay. Welcome, Miss Lexi. Now I got something better than that. My mother thought. Okay, now you know, prepare your.
Yeah, let me mute it because I think I'm gonna cry.
My mother thought, okay, because when she started working, it was always paper checks, and my mother was so upset when they gave her an online account.
Oh no.
When I say they had to probably call the fire station to put out the fire. Like my mom was in the office screaming, and I didn't authorize, and I don't want nobody to use my money. And the lady was like, everybody has it now. There's like, we're not doing any more paper checks.
Yes. Yes. No, no.
Miss Nexie, guess what happened?
What happened? They had to give her paper checks.
My mother was the only one that got a paper check. She told the HR, if I don't get a paper check, I quit.
I'm sorry, moms. We don't mean to laugh, but it's so beautiful that you guys are so innocent and beautiful. I'm sorry, but it's funny.
No, 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 I couldn't take it anymore. I was like, this is too much. I was like, what do you mean you're gonna quit if you don't get a paper check? She was like, they're gonna have to pay me. I said, Mom, when it is put in your account, you are paid. And she says, how do I know I was paid?
When you go back, oh no, how do I know it's the right amount?
No, she said they just make up an amount and put it in there.
Yeah. Okay, now let me tell you this.
I'm
So
done.
every every month, um, she will go and I said, Mom, I can do the online now. I can check to make sure that all of your checks have clear. Do you want me to do that? Oh no, no, don't worry about that. When I go to the bank to withdraw, because she will go every third day to get $40 for the week, $50, just for gas and
Hmm.
this and that. I said, Mom, I can do it online. She said, No, no, no. The cashiers, they're very nice. They love when I go in there and ask them to tell me exactly which checks have cleared. Every time she went in, the girls would be like, "Oh no, there she goes
Yeah, they're like,
again."
oh no, here she comes.
The girls would roll their eyes and they would look at me like, "Please, please help me." And I said, "Mom,
Oh,
I can help you with
oh,
that."
trust me. Oh, trust me, Miss Nexie, I know all about that because because my mom and my daddy used to be like, oh no, if we don't go inside, the bank will close. I was like, what? It was
Yes,
like, yeah,
yes,
they need the people who go inside. All of these people, technology, now they're gonna
yes,
lose their jobs. I was like,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
no.
We have to go in, and another thing is, if you pay with the credit cards, if you pay with ATMs, they're gonna lay off all the cashiers because now you're gonna be able to pay for yourself for everything. So and they're gonna lose their jobs, and they have families, honey. They have families to support. And I'm
That's what
looking at her
and my
like,
mom was. My mom said nope. My mom never would agree with anything. Oh man, she would roll over in her grave seeing self checkout. Oh no. Oh no. Nope. Nope.
I,
Nope.
I,
Nope. Nope. Nope.
so
Nope.
Miss
Nope.
Marlene, when she used to go to the sometimes she will go to the market after
Mm-hmm.
work sometimes, and she didn't have cash. She's like, I can pay with the check, right? Yes, of course you can pay with the check. So she will get in front of the girl and get a whole bunch of groceries, and then she will tell the girl, "Can you please write it for me? I'll just if it was $343.97, can you write it for me? I'll just sign it." And the girls will look at her like, we're not supposed to do that because it it's if something goes wrong, they're gonna blame us, right? If something goes wrong, it's gonna be our fault. So my mom be like, but I don't know how to write that amount. Can you please write it? So that girl, she had a huge line and she had to write my mom's check.
Oh, and guess what? Guess what? My mom was the same way when it came to paying for the groceries. And you know how like you would have to write it out, and then now you didn't have to. I could right before it switched over to debit cards. You could just put the check through the machine
Yeah,
and it would fill it out.
yes. No, 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 no. You can't do that. No, Miss Marlene, you can't because they're gonna lose their job.
No, that's what my mom said. No, don't do that.
I love you, mom. Sorry.
I said, Mom, that is their job. They know. And she said, No, they don't know. If they do, they said, Don't do that because you're gonna lose your job.
Oh, and remember how when you go to the doctors and you make the appointment,
Uh huh.
and they used to have the appointment book, and they'll give you the appointment. So, one day I told her, I said, "Mom, just make you can call the doctor and make the appointment. They can call him and just tell the girl to make the appointment." And then she's like, "No, I'm gonna go inside. I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna ask her because I couldn't make my appointment the other day. I had, I couldn't make it and I missed that appointment, so I'm gonna go inside. I'm gonna ask her to make it for me." I said, "Mom, you can just call her." No, I know. I want to go inside. I want to go inside because that way the doctor will see that she's needed.
Miss Nixie, I'm done. I think we had the same mother because
We have the same mother from another father and another mother, and then I'd be like, "Mom, she takes your phone call, right? She's
yep,
talking to you." Okay, so one day we go there, and then the doctor has these computers. And so the girl is making the appointment, and then my mom looks at her. She's like, "I'm waiting for my appointment." She's like, "I'm making it." She's like, "What do you mean you're making my appointment?" She's like, "Yeah, I'm making it in the computer." "What happened to your book?" And then the girl said, "Well, everything is electronic now. We're doing everything in the computer. Aren't you afraid of losing your job?" And I said, "Mom, the computer cannot
they
write."
thought everything in the computer was evil. Yep.
Yes, yes. And so the girl is like, "I'm making it here." And then she's like, "Oh, okay." Then she's like, "Can you write it on my book?" And she's like, "I'm gonna give you a little card." And she's like, "No, just write it on my appointment book." She still had an appointment book from 1980. 1980, Miss Marlene. When it was just a little appointment booklet. It had no year, just the months,
Yes,
April, May.
Miss Nixie. I think my parents had your mom and my mom had the same one because my mom's own locked with a key. I said, why do you lock it? Because she's like, I don't want people to know my business.
Yeah, it's an appointment, mom. And so we go there, and then the lady tells
I'm
her,
done.
your new insurance has a $10 or $15 copayment. Oh my gosh, she lost it. What do you mean? I've never paid before. I understand, but now the new plan that you have, it's saying that you have a copayment for the first office visit of the year. You have a $15 copayment, but I've never paid before. I'm telling you, I've been coming to the same doctor for many, many years.
They don't get it.
And
They
the
don't.
girl is like, "I
Yeah.
understand. Yes, I know you've been his patient for a while, but it's a $15 because of the new plan. But I haven't changed plans." And then she's like, "Well, I don't understand. I'm just
Don't
letting you
understand.
know that that's what it is." And then I said, "Mom, just pay it." "No, can I pay it next time I'm gonna call my insurance company and find out if it's why have my plan changed, blah blah blah." The girl's like, "Sure, no problem. You can mail it to me, or on or credit card, whatever. No, on my next visit, I'll come and pay you, so you can give me a receipt. So in case the insurance company asks me again for this, I'm gonna tell them I already paid it." The first visit of the year. That poor girl. She was with her for like 30 minutes, telling
I
her
know.
it has
I'm,
nothing
I'm
to do with the doctor.
listen,
It's
Miss
your plan.
Nixie. Miss Nexie, I have to tell you this. All the people that work in the doctor's office, at the end of the year, me and my siblings would give them a bottle of wine because they needed it.
Forget for when my parents come back next year. Put it on your desk.
They need they needed it. They needed it. They needed it for when they had to deal with my parents. So, Miss Nexie, back to the topic of
50
okay,
50. Because that's split
right.
too, by the way.
Yeah.
You pay
Miss
your
Nexie.
co-payment and I'll pay my co-payment.
Oh, Miss Nexie, don't even get started about that. When they would be like, why are you paying it? And I'm telling you, my mom had this big thing with a rubber band around it from like
Yes. Oh yeah, mom too. My
1968.
mom too.
Yeah. And they were like, she went back through all of her bill and she was like, I've never paid. I've never paid. Nope,
Same
never
doctor,
paid.
20 years. Never paid. Oh no, no. But my dad had the co-payment too. And she says, you pay yours and I'll pay mine. Like, mom, just give him 30. No, he has to pay for his own co-payment. That's his
Exactly.
insurance. I'm like, poor dad.
Yeah, it's really sad. But okay, now okay, let's talk about 50-50 when it comes to restaurants and dating, because this is like a controversial, it's a hot topic for a lot of people.
Very
Like
hot.
when it comes to, okay, you have a date with somebody, okay, you're dating someone, or or you're just getting to know a lot of people. So when it comes to this, what is your thoughts on this? My personal opinion, Miss Nexie, is before you even get to the date, you need to be
Mm-hmm.
asking questions. Okay, who is gonna pay, you know, and all those things. But I say that
Me too.
because I have been somewhere, gone on a date, and then they say separate checks.
Oh, I went through that too. Oh no, yeah. But again, it was our fault. That was the first time, right? First and last. You say on my next someone I date next because this is the first and last time we go out. But the next time I go out with someone, I'm gonna ask, do you want me to pay? Do you want to split? Or do you want us to go 50-50? Don't split the check. Let's just go 50-50 on the totality of the bill, right? Because
Right.
you got to tip, you got to do this, you got to do that. So let's just get the check. And if it's $50, let's give each, you know, 30
Hmm.
for the tip and everything, right?
But Miss Nexie,
So,
but don't you think that's something that should be discussed prior
yes, it
to
should.
arriving? My whole thing is, don't think like Marlene's cheap or anything, but I need to know so that I can plan accordingly. Because listen, Miss Nexie, every day isn't payday. They could be
Yeah,
asking the day that you only have enough to pay, that's designated for bills or something, or you're going to get gas with that money. So when they were like separate checks, I was like, um,
oh, damn it. I'm going to have to take the bus.
and I was like, separate. You're paying yourself and I'm paying myself. And I'm looking like, then why am I here with you?
Yeah, exactly. You know what I had to cancel? No, look, Miss Marlene, we come from an era, at least I do. You're younger than me, but I am older than you. I come from an era in where the gentleman always
You're
paid.
past.
Okay, if he invited you
Mhm.
out to eat, like if you were gonna go on a date, in my time, the guy paid. That was just it was just that. You didn't have to second guess. You didn't have to worry about, am I paying? Am I this? No, no, no. You knew that he invited you out. You were going out on a date, and he was gonna pick up the check. That was the norm back then. Back in my day. Now,
Yeah.
in today's society, I think that because things are more equal, more
And things are
equality,
more
more,
expensive.
yeah, and couples are different than when I was growing up. So I think that that is important because we have to change with the times, right? So if you're gonna go out on a date with someone, I think in today's time, yes, I will ask, is this, are you picking up or should I bring money? Or do you get it this time and then I'll do it next time? Or how is it gonna work,
See,
right?
Miss Nexie, my only issue with the 50-50 is when it's a surprise.
That's my only issue too.
That's my only issue. Like,
Or
uh,
don't bring coupons.
yeah, and I don't have a problem with somebody going somewhere affordable. That's another conversation that we're going to talk about on the next live stream. But people will have this whole long list of places. Oh, I'm not going to go here, and if you go there, I'm not going anywhere. My thing, Miss Nexie, is it does not have to cost you any money. When you're dating somebody, it should be to get to know that person. And people put so much focus on the meal and the place. And oh, Miss Nexie, here's another one. Have you heard about this? Which I is my personal opinion. I think it's absolutely ridiculous. But now, if somebody asks you on a date, they're supposed to pay to get you ready. I think. Did your Wi-Fi go out, Miss Nexie?
What is
Did you-
no, I'm so sorry, Miss Marlene. I had it on mute because Mr. Somebody, you know.
Yeah, I understand. I was just saying, did you hear what I said?
Yes.
They
No.
they want, okay, somebody says, "Hey, Nexie, let's go out." And you're like, "Okay." And then they're waiting to get a cash app so that they can get their hair, their nails done for the date.
What?
No,
No.
that's Miss Nexie, yes. This is the new
Wow.
generation. This is the millennials. If you ask me on a date, that means you are supposed to send me roses before the date. You're supposed to pay to get my hair done, my nails done, and buy me an outfit.
And who's paying for the food? Are you paying for the food or am
No,
I still
no,
paying
all
for
of
that?
this is the person who asked you.
I'm not asking anyone. Wow.
And I was
Really?
Miss Nexie, I was looking like,
If you could see my
and
camera
I
right
said,
now,
and
I
I
could take
said
it.
to,
It would be like,
and I said to my relatives that are younger, and you're wondering why nobody wants to date you. Okay.
no, I would have said, you're wondering why you're still. No, never mind. Uh, wow. So they have to pay for you to get pretty up for the date, and then do they have to pick you up, or are you gonna drive there?
Oh no, no, no. They will never know where you live. But if you're going somewhere and it's far away, they're not going to drive. You got to send them money for a Lyft
So,
or Uber.
so I'm in it on my own, pretty much. Is that what you're
So
saying? 'Cause
so Miss Nexie, what I'm saying is being single looks good. That's what I'm saying.
yeah, I'm
I feel
grateful
like
my kids
if
are
you got to go
married.
through, and I feel sorry, like, to be honest, Miss Nexie, I feel sorry for the next generation, the what do you call millennials or the alphas. I can't keep up with it, but everybody who is after our generation, I feel sorry for them if they feel that it's about the experience instead of getting to know the person because all these people are getting so off
And
track. Oh, the outfits and
yeah,
nails and my hair and
you
getting
know,
this. But what about who you're trying to get to know?
I was about to say that. Then I feel very sorry and for them because now they, and I think I will ask, and you still wonder why guys don't want to get married, why guys don't want to date you guys, why guys are okay being single. I mean, seriously, like if you have to do all of this just for one date, if that was your wife, your girlfriend, yeah, get her dolled up. That's your girl, right? You want her to have the best. You want to pamper her. But if this is someone you're going on a first date with and you have to do all of that, before you have the pleasure of her company, then you're better off alone.
Miss Nexie, I said that's the craziest mess I have ever heard in my entire life. You have to pay to get a person ready.
What are you, 5?
I was like, okay, okay. I'm not gonna go against anybody. To each his or her own. But that's not my opinion. That's not my opinion. So let's go. Okay, we have one more point to cover before we wrap up.
Wow, that's news to me.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. That's a. I was like, what? So here is the last one, and we're before we wrap up. So there's this thing about 50-50, and there's a lot that feel like if a person is working on the outside, that means that they've already done their work in the relationship. They don't have to clean, they don't have to cook, they don't have to take care of children. They feel if they're providing money in the relationship, they're they have to do everything else. And Miss Nexty, when you go to work, work is like 40 hours a week. A person is a home in the home is forever. It's around the clock,
Yes, it's
24
24 hours
hours
a
a
day,
day.
7 days a week,
Yeah.
pretty
So,
much.
so how is that? And they said that's the 50-50. I bring in the money and you take care of everything else.
Yeah, no, I will have no children with that person, and I'm staying single. Yeah, babyless and single, if that is the case, because it is known that a man or a woman that stays at home with the children, that's a lot more work than the person that goes out of the house to make that money. I understand money is important. We need it to survive. We need it for everything. But if we think about it, whoever stays at home with the family is a servant and is working without pay and without rest and without breaks and without the luxury of going out to eat once a week with the coworkers, because her coworkers are 2, 3, 4, 5 year olds, whatever. There's nobody else but you and those little munchkins. So you work a lot more because there's a lot more to do without pay. That's not 50-50.
Yeah.
That's like 90-10.
Yeah, and Miss Lexi, like you said, that goes on both sides because it could be the woman that is the breadwinner, or it could be the man that is the breadwinner. On either cases, I still have the opinion that regardless of whether you work in the home or out the home, there's some things that everybody needs to take care of their own. Like, or you come to an agreement, like who's going to do dishes, who's going to do this, but it can't just be all on one person. I just, that's enough.
No, that's impossible. We have a coworker. She's the youngest of the coworkers, the youngest in the group, and she has two little ones with her boyfriend, her fiance. They just got engaged, but they have two little ones. And since the pandemic, he can work from home. So instead of um, hiring a babysitter or taking the kids out to daycare, what they're doing is he works, he can actually put in all of his work in 2 days out of the week, right? And so this coworker is a nurse. So she works one day a 12-hour shift and then she's off for a day and a half, right? So what they do is he works on the days that she's off. He does all of his work on those days, and then he takes care of the little ones because she is a nurse, so she has to go to a hospital and work or to any clinic. That's her job. So they're doing that, and the days that she stays with the kids, that she's off and he's working from home, he does the like lunch time or dinner time. And the days that he works and she's home, she does the breakfast time with the kids, and so they take turns when it comes to that. I don't remember the exact way they do it, but they kind of do it that way. Like if she's home but he has
Yeah.
to work, she gets the kids ready, she fixes breakfast for everybody, and then takes the kids and run her errands. And then when she comes back, her husband is the one that does either lunch or dinner. I don't remember which one it is, but he does that even though he worked that day because she does the same thing. Like if she comes into work late, or she gets off, let's say she comes in at 7 and she gets off at 7 or 6 and 6, she'll go home and cook dinner that day
Hmm.
because he's been with the kids all day. So like that, so they do something like that, and it is nice to see that they are in their own way. They're working it out so that
Yeah.
they don't feel overwhelmed and overburned.
And Miss Nexie, what you just said is something very profound that a lot of people need to think about. That yeah, all of that stuff like okay, women do the everything in the house and that's women's work, or even saying certain things is men's work. No, it needs to be balanced. And whether people are working in the home or out the home, if you live in the home and you dirty the clothes, you need to help with laundry, you need to help clean the bathroom. Things need to be even according to what the couple has made a decision,
Hmm.
because there's some people like myself who don't
Yeah.
do dishes and will never wash a dish. Those dishes could grow legs and walk away. It will not be washed with
Until they
me.
wash themselves.
They'll watch themselves, okay? Because it's not going to be me. And I say that already up front. So, like, when things happen later on, they're like, "You don't wash dishes," and you're like,
No,
"I
I
was like,
told you.
what do you get when I said in the beginning I don't do dishes?"
Exactly. Exactly. My husband had a cup with a Bugs Bunny, and it says, I don't do dishes. And Bugs Bunny had a whole bunch of dirty dishes on the cup, and he didn't. But that was known. Now, I see the relationship
Me.
between my kids and their spouses, and it's funny because if my daughter-in-law is, she likes to cook. She loves to cook. So when she's cooking, my son is the one. The dishes that she's using, he's rinsing them, washing them, putting them away. If she needs something open, he opens it. They're both in the kitchen. She's cooking, but he's doing the other things that um, she could do, but she doesn't have to because he's there helping. And when my daughter now with her husband now, if she's cooking, he's entertaining the baby, and then once they're done eating, she grabs the baby and he picks up the dishes. So it's cute to see those things because back in the day, I remember our parents and stuff, they never picked up a dish. They will eat, get up, and go. And if you said anything, moms will be like, they're men. They're not supposed to do anything. We're the women folk. We're the ones who are supposed to do everything, right? Because that was the mentality back then. And they got
Yeah,
all
but
this.
also, Miss Nexie, we have to add to that things were that way, but also at that time, women didn't work outside of the home.
Yes, 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 you can say that. But
Yeah.
even in this country, women work and they still have to do that because I've seen it. I've
Yes.
seen it, and I'm like,
That
really? That frustrates
mhm.
me. But anyway, that's how they live and
That's what
that's their
like.
life. Mhm.
But even in that, when women didn't have to work, it still wasn't right or fair then either. But it's different when, if somebody is not going to work, okay, that's how they will add to the splitting of things. But I still don't agree that it should be all on one person and vice versa, because it can be the woman working outside and the man being home with the kids, like you refer to. So, with all of that being said, with this conversation, it's just important for couples to be balanced and to talk about things and to not take on gender roles. Oh, because you're a woman or because you're a man. No, we're together, we're in a relationship, and if we supposedly love each other, we're going to do things to alleviate the stress from another person.
Yeah, it's only fair. It's a relationship. Again, it's a family, right? You want the best for your family. So if you can help your spouse, husband or wife, either or, do something that is not your norm, but if you can actually make him happy, even if you don't do it the same way he does or she does, but the fact that you actually did it makes them happy, then why not? But I,
Yeah.
I have been also, Miss Marlene, on families, my extended family. I've been in households where my auntie, let's say my cousin and his wife are, in the kitchen, and my cousin is washing the dishes, and he's washing the dishes, and she's with the babies. She will go and say, "Why are you letting my son wash the dishes? What's wrong with you?" Yeah. And I told my auntie, I turn around and say, "What's wrong with you? Are his hands falling off? She
Yep.
has the baby. She's outside picking up something else. Why can't he?" And then my cousin will say, "Oh my God, there you go again, mom. Leave it alone." Because she'll be like, "Why are you letting my son wash the dishes? He's a
Yep.
man. He's not supposed to." And I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" And
Yep. You do. Uh-oh. It cut out. Don't hear anything yet, Miss Nexie. While we're waiting on Miss Nexie, thank you all so much for being here. I hope you've been enjoying today's topic, because me and Miss Nexie, we do a great job with these topics. This was Miss Nexie's choice of topic. Miss Nexie, are you still there? I don't know if your Wi-Fi went out or not, but I wanted to bring this to an end. Miss Nexie, if you, oh, are you back?
Oh, sorry about that, Miss Marlene. My phone died, but I have my iPad. So I'm
Oh,
like,
okay.
where's
Okay.
my iPad? Where's my iPad?
Okay,
Yeah.
because I was just about to say, okay, Miss Nexie, perfect. We're gonna end it then, but then you came.
Yes, we are gonna end it, but I said that because the way you're I picture my daughters. How would I feel if somebody talks to them like that? I would probably explode. So I was like, no, auntie. Yeah, she's not your daughter. He's your son. But that woman gave your son two babies and is giving you two grandchildren. Like, what's wrong with him doing that? What's wrong with him helping her the way my uncle never helped you? You should be happy that he's helping her and not allowing her to do all the work. You know what I mean? Like, if you didn't bring him up right, at least he's got the sense to bring himself right.
I'm in full agreement with that, Miss Nexie. I just think after a time, even if you were raised a certain way, because that's how I was raised too, that there's certain roles and you're supposed to do X, Y, and Z. But I'm like, if you dirty those clothes,
You're watching them.
you're watching them. And not that I'm not of that opinion to be like, oh, I'll never do it for you. But it's different. If I'm home, then I do it. And I expect too, if I'm out and you're at home, yeah, I wouldn't expect for you just to
Oh,
wash mine too, because that's what I do. If I'm home, I'll wash yours and mine. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
But if I'm busy, then I would think they would think about me and take care of mine too. But it's very complicated and everybody is different.
yeah, but the right thing. You said the right thing. You said it's something that needs to be discussed before you come into a serious relationship. The do's and the don'ts, and we're gonna split. If we're gonna do things a certain way, we're gonna do it our way, not the way our parents or the way I was taught. We're gonna work together as a couple. And if
Mhm.
you tell me, you know what, I don't like doing the bathrooms, I really don't, but I can do the kitchen for you, right? Or
Mhm.
I don't like to broom, but I can mop for you. or you don't like to do that. Okay, then what about this? So you can always talk. I think that the
Compromise.
reason I think that the reason why sometimes um couples get into arguments and everything like that is because they don't have these discussions, and sometimes they
They
let
have
things pile up.
expectations, Nextly. They have
Yeah,
expectations. And
that's
that
it. That's it, Miss Marlene. They have expectations, and that's it. For me, seeing that my kids are not, because I didn't raise them with gender roles that only the girls do this and the boys just sit all day and look pretty. I didn't raise them like that. Everybody did everything around the house. We mopped, we broom, we cooked, we did dishes, we did all of those things. Now I know that if I send the boys to do the bathroom, it will never be clean. They just do, the sink and that's it, and they just put water on the tub, and I'll do the restrooms because I like to see it super clean, right? So I'm gonna do the restroom and I do the kitchen. You guys do the rest of the house, right? Inside and out. You guys work it out whatever way you want to between the siblings, and I take the two things I said. And when you have someone that is not used to that and it's only expecting their partner to do everything, that's when trouble starts.
Yep. And Miss Nexie, I feel like that, right, what you said, is a perfect space to break off until next week, because next
Uh-oh.
week we're gonna get into talking about the list.
Oh, oh, I
Yeah.
have one that is like 3 miles long. Oh, what list were you talking about? Sorry. We're gonna leave it at that. The list.
The list. We're gonna leave it right there. So
All
thank you
right.
guys so much for tuning in. Appreciate you guys. And not really sure of the time, if we're gonna keep this time slot or go back to Thursday, or if now that I'm more free to on Tuesdays, we me and Miss Nexie may just do some pop-ups
Yeah.
uh, once in a while. You never know.
There you go.
So
You never know. You never know. Thank you for having me, Miss Marlene. It's always a treat to have this sip and chat with you. We go all the way around, back and forth in all different kinds of ways, but we come back to the topic at
yeah,
hand, and I really appreciate the opportunity. I really love our sip and chats. But don't forget to press the like, subscribe if you want, but the like is for free. Support
yeah.
Miss Marlene there.
Thank you so much, Miss Nexie. I appreciate you. Shout out to all of my mods. Realist one here, Nick the Great Podcast, pre-retirement days, and anybody who's listening in the bushes. Hey guys. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you guys next week on the next a sip and chat or another topic. Bye
Yes, ma'am.
everybody.
Bye, everyone.